Hello again, Lothar here. This is a follow-up to my video on hiking the PCT using local permits, and my video link for the first one basically is the one prior to this. And this video has been prompted by some emails I received from hikers who in previous years had basically fallen foul of some of the requirements. So this is really just to make sure, give you a heads up that some of the things, basically one of the major things, that mistakes can be made. So when you're applying for a permit, obviously check out all the rules beforehand. But I do know there's a lot of paperwork if you go through and do individual permits, but if you can follow the video I did on the local permits, you potentially can do it in the PCT in 3 permits. But the one that you can fall foul more easily, and I didn't make that clear in my previous video, is the PCTA permit from Sonora Pass to Canada. Now, because this year you have to go through a registration process, and that can take up to 1 or 2 days depending on if you have problems with your email accounts, but you have to register with the PCTA anyway for any application. And also you then have to give them sufficient time to review your permit application and give it approved. Now, when I did it, when I did my Sonora Pass to Canada permit, I was planning various stops, so I knew the terrain really well, so I could plan well in advance as to when I was going to hit Sonora Pass and when I wanted to leave Sonora Pass. But if you leave it too late, you can't give the PCTA enough time to review your application, so you have to give them plenty of time to review any new applications. So the suggestion I got from some other hikers, and I think it's a brilliant one, is, well, there's 2 actually. You can either take a really big guess now and apply for your PCTA permit leaving Sonora Pass right now, which would be fortune telling par excellence, or you could apply for it at the same time as when you're applying for your Sierra permit. Basically, the Sierra permit is the Inyo walk-up permit, and you apply for that 2 weeks before you plan to leave. Basically, you plan to leave Kennedy Meadows. Now, as part of your Inyo walk-up permit application, you basically have to come in your own mind a schedule as to when you're going to leave Kennedy Meadows and when you're going to ultimately get to Sonora Pass. Then the suggestion is you can then take your estimated date for Sonora Pass and then go straight onto the PCTA website, log into your registered account, and apply for your PCTA Sonora Pass permit based on when you arrive at Sonora Pass from your estimation of your schedule going through the Sierra. I think that's a brilliant suggestion. You can probably add 1 or 2 days if you want to rest up there. When I did my application, I applied for it as I think I was leaving Kennedy Meadows, but I actually planned various stops anyway, so I was always within the review time of the PCTA. You've got to give them sufficient time to review it. The other benefit of applying earlier than I indicated in my previous video is that if you find that you've still screwed up, so even though you made your best estimate and you want to have a modified date, you at least can contact the PCTA by email or probably bring them up and talk about a modification to an existing already approved permit rather than trying to kick off a brand new application that have to have a minimum time to review. So I think the suggestion is brilliant. Apply for your Inyo walk-up permit, complete that online, and then go to the PCTA permit and apply for your Sonora Pass. That will give you the best, I think, the closest estimation in terms of when you will need the permit to start. You still can mess it up, but at least you're not trying to do it right now and making a fortune-telling exercise that is almost impossible. So thank you for the suggestions. It's, again, I've never had any problems, but I had inadvertently realised I was always within the rules of applying for the PCTA permit anyway. But if you are going fast and you can actually end up applying too late and then having to wait at Sonora Pass longer than you want if you left the application too late. So yeah, don't make that mistake. So this is correcting my previous video. Thank you for the suggestions. But yeah, I would do PCTA on local permits again. I think it does scare people. I do understand why. You just have to be aware of all the little intricacies and rules. There aren't that many, but I do understand it can be very frustrating if, I don't know, you mess up your Inyo by a few days, you have to kick your heels at Candy Meadows, fair enough. And the same thing can happen at Sonora Pass, you may have to kick your heels for a few days for your permits to kick in. So I think that's the thing you just have to remember with all local permits approaches. You just have to be a little bit patient, a little bit flexible. But it certainly doesn't destroy the enjoyment of the PCTA, and you shouldn't overly worry about it. So, okay, my next video is going to be on final preparation. So there's some of the decisions I make in the weeks leading up, some of the final training I'll be doing in the weeks leading up to starting the PCT, and I'll try and keep it short and punchy, and hope it's useful to you. Hope to see you on trail.